Hello, everyone. Normally I would say happy Friday, but it's Thursday. All right, I love Thursday. It's like the preview of the launch of the weekend. You get excited because tomorrow's Friday and then Saturday, Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of Mom at Home. Obviously, when we first started the Mom at Home series, we we were a little bit wild and we decided to do it every single day. And that was the onset of the wonderful pandemic that we all endured last year. And we're further along now than we were then. Then we moved Mom at Home every Friday, I believe, Bill, like weekly, every Friday. The museum has been open now. We just underwent a massive renovation, and we opened up June 15th to the public. So we are welcoming everyone back in. Things have changed around here, and we're just having a great time. So upon opening, we realized we couldn't keep that manic schedule of having every Friday be Mom at Home, so we decided to dial it back just a little bit. We're doing Mom at Home once a month now, and we're going to be posting all of those events on our website for you to catch up on, museumofmakingmusic.org. And fortunately, we've had this group hanging out with us on our schedule for quite some time. And as soon as Mr. Bill said, hey, I've got this very awesome band I want to interview for Mom at Home, and he mentioned the name of the band, which I will tell you momentarily. He said, I'm like, yes, this is a fantastic group. I've been familiar with Daring Greatly almost nearly just a little bit after they came down from Canada to our region here in San Diego. They've been making waves with just their wonderful, wonderful harmonies. So allow me a brief moment of story time. I grew up in a musical family. My mom was a singer. My dad played guitar. And I have two brothers who are also musicians. Now, there is an element when you have family ties, when you're in a family and you're able to sing together and harmonize together, it's supposedly very, very unique and very, very outstanding. I have never had the opportunity to sing along with my brothers, and they are both wonderful, wonderful musicians. So I am extremely, extremely jealous of the opportunity and the music, and well, I'm not jealous of the music. I just love the music that they've put out so far of Daring Greatly. So let's meet everyone. How are you guys doing? Welcome. Mr. Bill's with us today, leading the conversation, and looks like we got the puppers too. Awesome. So, Daring Greatly, thank you for being here on Mom at Home and to talk about your careers, your lives, your making music, and your connection to music. We love having you guys here.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Thank you guys for joining us. Let me tell everybody who we have from Daring Greatly. We have Brayden Tario, we have Patrick and Liam Croome. And Brayden, how about if you introduce us to our unexpected guest there?
This is Lila. She's 6 years old. Been with us 6 years. Yeah, she goes in with us everywhere.
I've seen her at a lot of your gigs. Yeah, Lila's with you when you're performing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people come to just see her. Sometimes.
Has she got a little groove going on that she's worked up when you guys?
She just sleeps on top of the bass amp, if you can believe it.
Really? Vibrations of the bass amp just kind of lull her to sleep, huh?
She's hardly impressed.
That's fantastic. Well, as BJ said, you came down from Canada, and I was reading up on that decision. It sounds like you all let go of your day jobs, you let go of whatever perhaps college you were doing, and decided to go for it, and come on down here to California. What was that like? How did that feel when you let go of that safety net and said, "Let's go"?
Oh man, it's pretty cool to think about that stage of our career and that moment. And when I think about that moment, the feeling that comes up was just an overwhelming, like unanimous within my whole body feeling of "let's go." And that came from the support system that we provided each other with, and there was just so much camaraderie and faith within the group. Everyone had the same amount of confidence just to go. This is just the right thing to do. And there's not even an argument, no rebuttal from anyone.
No looking back, no fear about it. Let's just go.
Yeah, we all had things going on. I kind of just came out of high school, was playing hockey with Brayden that year. Patch was in British Columbia, kind of finishing up his junior hockey career as well. Dail was unsettled with his job in the oil and gas business, and he'd been doing it for 20 years, and it was just like the perfect storm. We all wanted to travel, do something a little more meaningful with our lives than what we were presented with at that time. So it was a pretty perfect time. We had a couple opportunities that gave us belief in our first 5 songs that we wrote together, and then from there it was just like, let's see where this can take us.
Let's do it and go. That's amazing. It takes a lot of bravery, you know. It's a big step, but obviously I think it's paid off, because the music that you write, the music that you cover it's stunning. I first literally stumbled upon you. You were playing out here at Coyote, and I'd ridden into town to get something to eat, and I heard this wonderful music coming out of the outdoor plaza there, and said, the heck with dinner, I'm going to stand there and watch this amazing band. You immediately became one of my favorites, and that's the truth. As a matter of fact, as I was getting my questions ready for today, I put on your 6-song EP that you've got on your website, and BJ will post that to your show link, so people will be able to go hear that. And I recommend everybody go listen to that 6-song EP. You know the chill you get when music just hits you right in the soul, up and down your back. As I was listening to that music, writing these questions, that's exactly what happened. And the name of your band has always fascinated me as well. Now, I was talking to your pop earlier today, and he said when he was working in that corporate world and you were much younger, you all had a lot of questions that were pretty deep about your future. What are you doing and where are we going? And that compelled him to start doing some deep reading and deep research. So could we maybe talk about where the origin of the name of the band came from?
Dail provided a pretty cool environment as a young dude, like 13, 14. You could ask any question, and he would be egoless enough to say, I don't know, let's find out together. So we went through a really cool transformation together as kids and a dad. And it started with books like 4 Agreements, and then Daring Greatly was actually in that kind of stack of books that helped perpetuate a new lifestyle and way of thinking. And Brene Brown wrote this book called Daring Greatly, and she took that little phrase from a Theodore Roosevelt speech in 1910. That's called "Man in the Arena," and that speech speaks for itself. It's incredible, and it fired us up. So we just thought, hey, that would be a cool rock band. We were Strange Arrangement before that, and that just wasn't really flying. It's
Strange Arrangement, yeah.
So,
Strange Arrangement sounds like a very 60s kind of psychedelic band name.
that was more of a country group at that time. We were performing country covers.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Country covers, or were you writing some country songs as well?
Just covers.
Just covers. Now, Brayden, when we were talking earlier, you said that the minute the name Daring Greatly was presented to the band, everybody just said, bingo, that's the name. Is that kind of how it went for you guys as well?
I would say yes for me. Like when I heard it, I was like, I didn't even hesitate. It felt right. It just like it has its own meaning. Just that name has its own meaning in itself, you know. And you get all these band names like the Beatles or the whatever. It's just like we wanted to actually have more of a meaningful name in our group. So, and I think even when we had this opportunity that Patch was talking about, when we had our 5-song EP, we got offered to go re-record some of those songs in Nashville with some big names. And at that time, 7 years ago, they were saying, you guys got to change your name, make it something that will stick, make it something that will, sound a little bit more, catchy. And we all kind of said, no, like it's not going to change.
No,
it just matched exactly what we were doing in our lives at that time, Daring Greatly. And Dail always says it holds us accountable every single day. Like every single day that we don't dare greatly a little more, we kind of feel like, well, what the hell did we call ourselves this for? You know what I mean? So it was a perfect timing. It made sense because Dail was leaving his job. He was selling everything. He was giving up a great job. Patch probably could have continued with hockey as well. Brayden could have continued with what he was doing educationally. It just made sense with the lifestyle that we wanted to start living. And Liam was just getting out of high school, and we were already doing pretty well as a band. And I think that energy together, we just like, we need to make that risk, take the chance, and dare greatly.
Yeah. And that's a great dare to leave everything and head south and come down here and stake your claim. And you're right, Liam, if you're not pushing yourself each day, what are you doing? You know, you rest on your laurels, so you have to keep pushing that forward.
Cool.
I have to imagine Dale was a gigging. Was he gigging as a musician, sort of on the side when he was working his corporate jobs?
It was more of a hobby for him on the side. I think he told us he went after it when he wrote some songs and went to Nashville when he was about 20 or 21 years old, and then did it for a year and was a little discouraged by all the talent around there and all the grinding that he was going to have to do. So he came back and got a job, and then met my mom after that, and then had kids. And I guess it's good. But growing up, though, he had his own band with our mom's brother. So his brother-in-law, Uncle Johnny, he was a guitar player and a singer, and Dale he could play piano and sing. They had a wicked duo for a long time. We would go as kids to watch them play almost every weekend, weddings, and they would call us up on stage to sing Everly Brothers and Bare Naked Ladies.
Nice.
So we were around kind of like the gigging lifestyle from a very, very young age. There's some pretty funny videos of us singing when we were 4 years old.
So did you all kind of catch that bug real soon then, being at those gigs and seeing how much fun that was?
Yeah, I guess it didn't really become a bug until later on, though. I kind of took it for granted for a long time. You know, like hockey and social life and school always kind of took precedent over that for me. It didn't really become a deep passion until I started writing my own music. But now that looking back on that, now that I'm in this environment, I'm glad that we went through all that because it makes it. We're really natural in this type of environment. And I think it was a deep passion. We just never really took it seriously. We never really looked at it as something that we could actually do with our lives, you know, because of the way it was a hobby for Dale forever. And it was kind of just a side thing for us the first 4 years we did it. It didn't seem like something we could make our plan A, you know what I mean? So, and society kind of makes it out so that, you know, this is a poor man's job right now. And it really is. This is no middle class exists right now. So everybody's working. If you're not at the top, you're working your ass off to make ends meet, and nobody really loves the sound of that, you know, working. But yeah, it just made too much sense. And actually, it turns out we found a good balance of working hard and having a good time. So we're happy at the moment.
Bottom line, pardon me there. Bottom line is you're happy, and you're absolutely right. There's a stigma that people place on being a musician. I'm sure you've all been asked this question, which just really kind of grates you to your core. Well, what do you do for, you know, what's your job? I know you play music, but what's your job? People don't understand that you can't. I mean, look at all the tremendously successful musicians in the world. That's their job. And yet maybe it's because we use the term I play music. People think you're playing. You're not really. I don't know. I mean, trust me, you watch Daring Greatly play and you guys are working as hard as anybody I've ever seen. Patrick, when I watch you play your 12-string guitar, it's very powerful. It's very compelling, both your rhythm and your solos. Could you cite an influence or several influences on the style that you employ?
Yeah, my dad and Uncle Johnny, for sure. Uncle Johnny taught me a lot in the living room. My first song I learned on the guitar was Boston, More Than a Feeling.
Nice.
From there, I would go to my biggest influences on the acoustic guitar, James Taylor and John Mayer. And, learning John Mayer's songs really, you know, made me kind of fall in love with the instrument and all the pieces. Hello.
Hello, Lila.
Instrument. So yeah, James Taylor, John Mayer, pretty much top two.
Excellent. Well, those are great influences to have. Now, Brayden, I mean, when you play, you're so in the pocket. You really give the band a strong foundation. And as you all know, a drummer's sense of time can pretty much make or break a band. So what advice would you offer if some young drummer came up to you and said, you know, I want to do what you do? How do you tell them to get in that pocket?
I guess I would just relate it to my own personal journey. I guess find, you know, whatever style of music you're listening to, and just listen to it and just feel it. You know, like I've always just been someone that just tries to feel the music more than, you know, try to like dissect each musical part of it. You know, like when I'm learning a song on drums, I don't, you know, I listen to it a couple times and then I don't try to like copy it exactly. And so I think just for me, telling a younger person, just don't try to be perfect with it right away. Don't expect that you're going to be just like how the record sounds. You just got to pretty much feel into it, and whatever you're playing, your instrument is your craft, your art, and it has to be unique. It can't be someone else's. So
Okay. So you find the sort of basic elements of the groove,
yeah,
learn that there, and then maybe try and get the fine points.
exactly.
Yes or no to this question? Practicing metronome, yes or no?
I definitely, trying to, get my stick control. I'll use a metronome, and I'll have a bunch of different tempos that I'll kind of set that to. But for the most part, like when I'm playing, with the band, it's important that the band is, locked in together without that use of technology. I think, as a rock and roll band, I think it's good to have that authenticity and not feel like you're, almost computerized.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, I think the click track's important when you're trying to find foundation for, a sense of timing, for sure. And yeah, if I was telling a young guy, just definitely practice with the metronome, but don't get too attached to that either.
Right. Yeah, because when you're playing in a live band situation, you want the time to lock, but you also want to be able to let the whole band breathe together.
And that's been a topic of conversation too, is like, will we ever play with a click track on stage live? And we don't right now. And I'm open to it, but like, I also don't really want to do that, because it's just like, it takes away from the, like I said, the authenticity.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think when bands are using sort of tracks to augment what they're doing,
you
got to be locked into that.
You got to be locked into the tracks.
Right. Yeah. But you're right. It loses the lifeness of it, I guess. I don't know if that's a real word, but it doesn't breathe when it's just straight. No deviation. And Liam, I love watching you play the B3, the road sounds that you get. How about you? What influences did you have?
Well, me and Patch both took classical piano lessons when we were young. Okay. It kind of felt like a chore back then, but my parents always say I would thank them for it one day, and we do thank them for it. And then I kind of gave it up for a while, fell in love with it, because it did feel like a chore, and because I wasn't playing songs that I could sing to. And I'd probably say my biggest passion in the world is singing. So I wanted to go more in a contemporary direction, and we started going to watch this live band in Calgary. I was actually 16 years old, so I was still in high school, and I would find my way to sneak into the bar somehow on every Wednesday night to go see this band. They were kind of a blues, funk, soul band with this great bass player and singer, amazing guitar player who Patch works with now, and then this guy on the B3 organ, Steve Fletcher, that just, like, I was just in awe. Like, that's what I could do with the piano. I never really looked at the organ before that. I was just mostly playing piano before that, and the organ kind of opened me up to creating my own style, and I like the percussive side of it all. So that was definitely it. And then moving forward, guys like the Yes guy, John Lord, and Boston. We listened to a lot of Boston growing up, so it started to pop up like where those sounds could fit in rock music, and I guess that's kind of where it started.
Well, it's amazing because it is really the bed and the foundation of so much rock, soul, gospel, blues music. Sometimes you might not even quite notice it's there, but it is creating that undercurrent. And then when it's time to solo, it's like, wow, this is an amazing sound that kind of came out of nowhere. Now, when you started the shift from playing classical piano over to, say, a B3 style organ, what kind of challenges and stumbling blocks and roadblocks did you run into?
Well, they're completely different animals, and I didn't really know that even the first 2 years that I played organ. But just realizing the phrasing and stuff like that, you don't have a sustain pedal, obviously, so even your fingering and the way you switch with chords has to be way more smooth. You don't have the sustain pedal to rely on to make it sound smooth or legato. You have to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Just direct or obvious with where you're going, or know where you're going kind of with the chords. And I didn't really solo before that, but when we didn't have a guitar player, when we were playing a strange arrangement, I was kind of forced into soloing, and then that's when that kind of came out, more of the fun with the organ and the percussive side. So yeah, it was definitely weird to make that switch, and it's still weird to go back and forth between those instruments between songs, but they're so different. I love being able to play like completely different instruments pretty much in a certain show.
It's a great way to show versatility, and it gives you a change of timbre that you can, go from, say, piano to organ, to synthesizer, so on and so forth. And watching you play, and I'll encourage everybody, I think we'll see some in the video we're going to watch. You do a great sort of a two-handed percussion thing with the organ too, that just adds a flavor to the songs. Patrick, I'm going to throw this one your way. You guys have released 2 albums, and then your 6-song EP, Cornerstones and Works of Art, are the albums, and then the EP is Out in the Sun. No, I'm sorry, the EP is Give Myself to the World. Am I correct on that? Yeah. Okay. Give us a little timeline on that progression from the first album, the second album, and then to the EP, in terms of songwriting growth, maybe production, approach to performing, when you started out and where you are now.
Oh yeah, the most of the riffs that have come along in those albums have started on the acoustic guitar, and then I kind of bring it to the boys and we bring it to life. The first one, we actually put out an album that was self-produced. We recorded a lot of it at home because Brayden took this engineering course in Calgary, and I think there was like 11 or 12 songs. And then when we got down here, we realized we needed to put a little more investment time into that. So Cornerstones was done in San Clemente with our buddy Scott Lugotsky, and that was part of an introduction from this lady who managed us for a while, Hollywood, and she helped us out a little bit and gave us that intro, and we had a hell of a time in there with Scott, and it was a great time in our lives, and it was probably like the first long album, really high quality studio experience that we had. We did it once before in Calgary, but it was just for 4 or 5 songs, and we didn't really know what the hell we were doing. So this time was different. It felt like we were meant to be in there, and very, even to this day, proud of Cornerstones and the songs we made on that album. They're a lot of our diehard fans who've been around since the beginning still go back to that one.
Yeah, that's their number one.
But in my humble opinion, I think the songs are getting better, and I think the production's getting better, and I think just our songwriting minds get better. Those first few songs are just riffs and choruses and bridge. We're just getting a little bit more mature about. I like comparing it to Zach Brown because they have the best bridges I've ever heard in a rock or country band. They just come to left field with this beautiful idea that messes you up and also ties everything together. And the bridges are getting better, and the hooks are getting hookier, and we're becoming producers in our own mind, which we always were, but that it's been fun, and I'm really excited about this next 6 to 10 songs. We're going to go to LA within the next month, over to the Sound Factory, and we're working with a new bass player / producer. His name's Matt Spadel, and Aaron Young, who Liam mentioned we used to go see every Wednesday in the blues band. He's one of the best guitar players I've ever seen, and I just started taking lessons from him last year. He's teaching me some fingerstyle on the acoustic, and he also produced and played on our newest single, Leaving. We did that while we were at home last Christmas, so he's become a good friend. He's going to come down and record too, and we got a really neat batch of guys and producer minds coming together for the next 10 songs, so we can try and find a way to make the sound global right now and make it, not make it mainstream, but make it, I don't know, we seem to be attracting a certain type of listener, and I want to attract them all like the Beatles did.
You want to really have a broad range in your scope of listeners. I mean, I'm going to say, just even based on the 6-song EP, there's a little something different in every one of those for the listeners. So I think you're getting there on that goal. So the 4 songs will be added to the 6 then to make a 10-song album.
This next batch, no, I think it's just going to be a completely new project, new set of ears. Yeah, we were with that Give Myself to the World album meant to be 11 or 12 songs, and it was right in the middle of COVID and everything. So,
and we were just stuck there at 6 songs. So we're like, why don't we just make it an EP, cut it off here? Don't spend any more money because we're not making any money.
So in the middle of a crowdfunder for that album too, and then COVID hit, and then it was just like, well, we got these 6 songs recorded. Let's get them mixed and then just get it out there to people, because we don't know when we're gonna get back into the studio again. And so it kind of came to a halt. So, but now it's been so long. It's been a year and a half, 2 years since even like I think a new kind of high has been around for 3 or 4 years now. We've been playing it live, and it's just like it's time to start playing some new stuff.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff hanging around, and it's new and it's fun, and it's more tailored to a 20,000 person audience, and that's what we want to be playing for in the next few years. Get on the festival stage.
Fantastic. And it's interesting, Patrick, that you said you could tell the growth from one album to the next to the 6 song, because when I listened to the 3, the sound of the 6 song EP, there's just a thickness and a richness to the mix that really caught my ears. Very bold. It pulls you right in musically, sonically. Now, I was listening to Out into the Sun on the EP, and there's a sensitivity that takes quite a while for musicians to get, and I was really struck by the sensitivity that you all have together now as a band. How long did you, if you had to sort of say it took from here to here, what kind of time frame did it take to where you were all thinking the same things, breathing the same, playing the same riffs, feeling the same rhythms? What was that process like?
Good question. Yeah, it took a long time. Looking back on video, it took a long time because we were just playing covers, and obviously changed when we started playing our own music. If you come to a show today, you can even tell a different energy starts when we start to play our own music. You can tell that we really, really love to play. Not that we don't love to play a 4-hour cover show. It's still better than an office job, but when we start to play our own music, our own personalities come out, and they also have just learned to mesh together so well. And it's kind of hard to describe, honestly. It's a hard question.
I mean, we all live together, obviously, and we have for the last 7 years, and I think that's the difference between us and a lot of bands right now, is because we don't, the cues on stage and stuff like that, or just knowing how each other play and our different styles. We know, if Patch starts to do something like this, then we should go in that direction. Or David does these days, if he starts to go in a direction with a solo like this, then we just move along with it. So we're just getting better, honestly, at listening to each other's small cues, and that comes from just knowing each other really well personally too.
In a lot of shows.
As you were talking, Liam, I got the picture of a hockey team in my mind. Could you liken it to something like that?
Yeah.
There's this cohesion between all the players where I can see where this one's going, and I know where that's going. Same kind of concept.
We attribute a lot of our personality traits and the reason why we're so tight as a band to hockey, because hockey was our life growing up, and the cool thing about a hockey team is there's goal scorers, and there's soloists in a band, or there's lead singers, and then there's a goalie. Yeah, sure. Drummer. I wasn't gonna say it.
That comparison gets made all the time, and they're not accurate.
BJ, you want to weigh in on that?
I'm a goal scorer, baby.
I don't know how to skate, so I can't participate in this conversation at all. But yeah, I like how the analogy though. Everybody's got their part, everybody's got their style, and everybody moves forward as a team to make it happen. So that's a great analogy.
And the only way that you win or sound your best is if everybody is looking out for each other and making sure that if someone else is doing a solo, we're never stepping on each other's toes. We're just trying to support in every way that we can. And it's funny that you brought that up, because we just we joined a league about 3.5 months ago. Okay. And that's the first time we played with referees and stuff like that. We've been playing pickup hockey for the last 5 years here, but it was kind of hard to find because there's only a few arenas in the area, obviously. But we just, long story short, we just won the championship 2 nights ago, and
awesome.
Kick the crap out of them in the finals.
championship musicians, championship hockey players. I love it. So Brayden, when you guys are playing, how much of the driving of the bus are you doing? Are you more listening, following, or are you leading, pushing?
Definitely listening. I always, said I listen to music, and I guess just perhaps I've always loved the acoustic guitar, so I listen to Patch a lot and what he's doing on rhythms, and I kind of accent those. And Liam's very percussive as well, so whenever he's doing a little bit of little organ percussive stuff, it's always fun to line up and synchronize with those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, certain things, maybe like near maybe the endings of songs, I guess I'm kind of just doing like little solos and feeling out there, but for the most part, I'm just kind of listening and following along.
Okay. All right. Now, about a year ago, BJ and I had John Anderson on of Yes, and he was asked, not by me, but by another interviewer once, John, what's your favorite Yes song? And his answer was whichever one we're working on at the time. So let me throw this question out to the three of you. Let's start Liam, and we'll just pass it along. Do you have a favorite song, or is it from one to the next where you are at that time?
And it doesn't have to be a Yes song. It can be one of your songs.
No, I mean a favorite song of yours. Thanks, BJ.
Yeah, I guess for the last 4 or 5 months at least, it's been "Love Myself Again" for me. I just feel like that's when our passion comes out the most in most of our shows right now, and it's a very personal song to me too. So it's just it's kind of like my freedom song and our freedom song in a way. Yeah, I just love playing it so much. It's got a lot of time.
And you wrote the lyrics on that one, I believe, yes? Yeah. Okay. So that would explain the personal nature of it. Patrick, how about you?
That is a tough one. I really like the answer of whatever the new one is on the table, because nothing quite compares to that feeling of when a song is just being built and you hear something for the first time, or something happens for the first time while you're playing it live. That new baby stages of a new song is really, 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 I like that answer as well. But I guess New Kind of High has been really fun for me. It was kind of my first stab at writing in a more catchy, hooky sense for a bigger crowd. It's kind of like a stab at a festival song, and everybody solos, some cool band stops in it, and I love playing that song.
So you're going for that large festival vibe with that song, man. Yeah. Cool. Brayden, how about you?
I agree with Patch. I love, when there's that new energy, when we're jamming a song for the first time, you can't really compare. So, but like, I can't really say a name of what that song is, because they're all unnamed and all untitled right now. But we do have a new song that we just put out on Patreon. It's called Born to Fly. And we all kind of contributed on the lyrics, and Patch wrote the music. But it's for me on the drums, like it's one of my favorite songs to play on the drums. It's very percussive, lots of kind of tribal drums at the start. It kind of builds up and it turns into this like rock and blues kind of song, and it's just heavy. And then by the end, it's just full like double bass and like cymbals and harmonies, and it's a 7-minute rocker. And when we play it live, it's just very obvious. Like people are just like totally, amused by it, and the energy, like you see people coming in when we're playing it. So. But yeah, that's on Patreon, which it kind of brings up another topic that maybe we could talk about is this Patreon model, the subscription model, and because there isn't really a lot of music or money to be made with the live stream, or not the music streaming services right now, Spotify, Apple Music, and Patreon's kind of a window for us to, we can put out some music and people can pay $1 a month or $10 or $30 a month, and you can unlock different rewards for those different tiers, and contribute monthly to our art and our creations. And it's a cool little platform that we're trying to get people to subscribe to.
Good. Very helpful for you. And any of those links that you have, go ahead and email them to me, and I'll get them to BJ, and he'll get them on your page here. Anything we can do to help keep it going. Well, for me, it's kind of a tie right now. Give Myself to the World is wonderful. The sentiment is so positive. The groove, the lyrics, it just has some great changes in it, and a new kind of high. I love that one as well. But what I'd like to do, if it's all right with the three of you, is share the video for Give Myself to the World with our viewers.
Right on.
Okay, here we go.
We are wandering, not lost, forget about left or right. Caught myself somewhere between a bitterness and a light. Please help me see, found it inside of me. There are times when I find mother cultures in my mind, in a pool of sinking sand. Mother Nature takes my hand to help me see the light inside of me. I give myself to the world, let it out with the world, 'cause I know we're all just singing along here together. I give myself to the world, let it out with the world, 'cause in the end we're all just singing along here together. Flowing gently down the stream, oh how life is but a dream. Sourced by the billions, never been free, no duality between you and me. Feel the energy and just let it be. I give myself to the world, let it out with the world, 'cause I know we're all just singing along here together. I give myself to the world, let it out with the world, 'cause in the end we're all just singing along here together. I give myself to the world, let it out with the world, 'cause I know we're all just singing along here together. I give myself to the world, let it out with the world, 'cause in the end we're all just singing along, all just singing along here together.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
That is. That's so life affirming. That's beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to ask about your songwriting now. How much of it is collaborative? How much of it is, say, Patrick, you come up with a song, you bring it to the band, and it's a complete entity. Let's just put our parts in. What would you say? Patrick, I'll start with you and then just kind of pass it along.
Yeah, I usually come to the band with a riff and usually a chorus with it. Sometimes a bridge with it,
Okay.
and then we all fill in the blanks from there. We most of the time collaborate with lyrics, unless someone really feels the inspiration. We try and collaborate with lyrics. Honestly, it doesn't always go well, but sometimes it's better environment to be alone in your thoughts and not have anyone else's to. But sometimes it is, it's whatever's in the moment, whatever's feeling good.
Whatever works for the song and makes it become what it is.
Yeah.
Liam, how about you? Would you say that you approach a song more from writing lyrics first and then coming up with musical ideas to go with them, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, I think it's usually easier to have some sort of a melody first. Usually, how we've done it is sing some gibberish, and if there's a couple words that sound like they could relate to the mood and that the music is creating already, then kind of create a theme and go from there. That's usually what we've done. In the first two albums were mostly giving. Like if I was doing the lead, I would write the lyrics, or if Patch was doing the lead, he would write the lyrics, or Brayden would write the lyrics for a Patch song or something like that. That's kind of how it went in the first two albums. And then these past 10, 15, 20 songs, and I think how we mostly want to move forward a lot of the time has been trying to sit down together and share our thoughts as much as possible. And I mean, four brains together should be able to create some cool stuff, but at the same time, you're not necessarily thinking of the same thing sometimes. So sometimes what sounds like a genius idea in your head might sound really stupid to one of the other guys. You know what I mean? So that's what makes that process a little tough sometimes. But it's still it's a tough process, but it's good that we've been going after it and trying to do it that way, so that we all feel a part of the creative process.
Sure.
Is what it comes down to.
It's a working environment where you really need to be able to let go if that's what has to happen, right? If you, like you say, if you have an idea that, man, that's killer to me, but the other three say, maybe not so much, you've got to be able to let it go and go from there. Yeah. And Brayden, how about you for lyrics and such? What kind of inspirations come your way?
Yeah, like Patch and Liam definitely got the music side of things. And when we're jamming, I like to think that my drumming is definitely influencing maybe the way where a song would go and with what energy I'm adding to that. And but yeah, lyrically, Patch has been very generous. Liam's been very generous with when they're singing. It's just open on the table, and whatever words like I'm hearing, they're open to seeing where that goes. And oftentimes, like I'm writing just based off what gibberish I'm hearing, and I'll share that with the guys, and if they take it, it's cool, and if not, it's also cool. And I definitely I write a lot of stuff, and I try to make it relatable.
So
it's also tough in that way sometimes because Brayden will write something that we love what it says, but it's awkward to sing or something like that. You know what I mean? So the phrasing of singing it comes into play a lot too. So, but yeah, I mean, Brayden's got some thoughts, like some endless thoughts that like he could literally just write important, meaningful words for like pages and pages. And yeah, it's hard to honestly keep up with Brayden with the lyrical writing sometimes.
Wow, really?
But at the same time, it's hard because you're thinking about what would be most comfortable for you to sing in that moment too, right?
Yeah.
So
in that respect, like we had this conversation like maybe 2 years ago, and Patrick's been writing a lot of the music riffs, and we initially would put on our albums like written by Darren Greatly, but now we've said, okay, well, Patch deserves that respect and the music, but we still like break it down based on like our like the money split, let's say, even though there's no money there, it's just like we split it, we split it evenly, you know, like we have one account, and so like we're all in this together, you know, and I think that's very important element to have, because you know we're all pulling different weights here, and
it's not about who gets more money. It's just making sure everything is being appreciated.
Right.
It should be.
So when it came to a royalty situation, you just split them right down the middle, not down the middle, evenly between the band. Yeah. Good. That's a very equitable way to do it. Now, you get a song written, and okay, here's the lyrics, here's the melody, here's some chord changes. How about arrangement? Is there one of you that sort of is stronger in that field, or do you all get in the room together and bounce ideas back and forth until an arrangement actually falls into place?
Yeah, I guess kind of towards our point earlier, it was probably more patched for the first two albums with the arrangements, and in the past couple of years now, it's been more collaborative. Just as we each get more confident with our own instruments and stuff like that, and with our own thoughts to throw in ideas, and be a little more open to receiving ideas as well. Because I know that when you write your own song, you have an idea of where it's going to go, and you kind of have this attachment to it as well. So it's hard to let go of that attachment. And Patch has done that well in the last couple of years, just so we can all, you know, have a say in where we think energetically the song should go.
Right. Good. So you all get in there and add to the total mix of it. And one of the things that you guys are so well known for, of course, are your vocal harmonies. And you'll agree, I think, that when people hear a band break into harmonies, it ups the level of the excitement of the song. Even if the song is just killing, you know, with say one person singing the lead, man, when you break into harmonies, people really take notice. Now, all of your voices, to me, have really distinctive sounds. I'm hearing a little Greg Allman, a little Don Henley, some Graham Nash. I mean, they're unique to you, but if I had to make a comparison, how did you get to where you could find that blend in those really disparate sounding voices to make it sound like such a cohesive unit when you're singing harmonies?
Dail was, and still to this day, still has like such a crazy range that our whole lives growing up, we were singing harmony to Dail. So Liam and I's ability to hear the lead singer and be kind of a background vocalist, but strong, you know, like to match the tone and the vibrato and everything that's going on with the lead singer. Liam and I's ears are very acute to that, you know. So, and Dail continues to get better at it as well. He wasn't incredibly natural at it at first. He's a lead singer. He's been a lead singer his whole life. He can find that first harmony, no problem, but that third harmony is not always easy. It's not always right there. So, it's just been a lot of band practice, and nowadays Brayden, and going forward, Brayden is going to become quite a larger part of that harmony scene as well, which is very, very nice to have. That everybody sings in the band is really, really important to us. So
yeah, everybody sings well, has nice, bright, present ranges, and I think sometimes you're doing as much as 5-part harmonies. Is that correct?
Yeah, we used to do 5-part when our old guitar player Brandon Otto, we were forcing him to sing as well, which he should have been doing all along because he's got. But yeah, he's no longer with us, and there's no way David Mills is going to sing. So there's just 4 right
That's
now.
his choice, by the way. We don't.
That's okay.
We didn't say you're not singing.
You're not.
So, Brayden, were you singing right from the get-go when they started doing harmonies, or is that something that you added in a little later on?
No, the boys have definitely pushed me in a very positive way and supportive way. And you know, it's singing and drumming. I hadn't really done that before, and so that's been the biggest challenge for me. Is just trying to like isolate my hands and my feet, and then focus on my voice. Right. Now that I'm just getting my tone kind of figured out, now that's a whole other element. And yeah, I recently got in-ear monitors for my voice, just because I'm doing the lower harmonies during the live shows, and it's harder sometimes when I'm playing drums to hear that note if I just have a wedge. So the in-ears are helping me with that. Yeah.
Well,
And just to say, David says, whatever, man. He's out there watching right now and on YouTube replying. He's like, yeah, I say it's happening. Y'all just never seen it. So I got mad respect for David. I've had the opportunity to play with him a couple times. A great guitarist, and he can sing. I know he can sing. So
We've never heard it. I confirm whether you like it or not next show.
Let's get him on
You did this to yourself, David.
And I can relate with the drumming and the singing too, man. It is not, especially when you have a part that is syncopated and completely opposite from what your body is doing, and you just have to either muscle memory, and if you overthink it, man, it can massive train wrecks. So mad respect for that too.
Yeah. Well, I will say on that note too, like actually me just thinking about the melody somehow is making me stay on time more now. Like it's getting better for me. So it's definitely been a bit of a growth game this last.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So hearing the groove of the melody is helping you sort of lock in even tighter.
Sure.
Not that I feel you need any help in that department, but that's an interesting take on that. And when I was talking to Dail, getting ready for today, he said we got some big things going on, and we'd like to talk about them. So, what can you tell us is up and coming for you guys?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I feel like since we were 18, 19 years old, we've been talking about the big things coming. And we wrote a song about that. And, here we are grinding in Fallbrook, California.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting to even use that language for us, because we've kind of transcended it. We've reached this point where we've created this business and this following and this lifestyle that means something. It means something to us, and it means something to a lot of people. And we're okay doing what we're doing for the rest of our lives. But we realize that there's this window that remains now that I just turned 27 and Brayden's turned 27. And there's this window, and it's getting smaller and smaller with every year that goes by. And so, yeah, we're being forced to make some pretty challenging decisions. One of those was letting go of our good friend Jamie Moyer on the bass, who's just with us and on all the albums. He's an awesome bass player and a local San Diego guy. And then more recently, talking about parting ways with Dail on the stage musically, just for reasons of marketing purposes. And these came from some pretty strong opinions from some industry people that we trust and know and love. And and Dail was on the same page as that. He kind of feels like it's time for the three of us and David Mills and Matt Spadel. We have this kind of group that has now a younger looking image and is more marketable to a different crowd. You come to one of our shows and it's busy as hell, but it's the age range is 40 to 60. So we're trying to break through of that. So we're in talks with we're doing business now with some pretty awesome people, a big promoter and an old manager of some pretty big names, and they're helping us, doing it out of the kindness of their hearts and because they believe in the vision and the talent and the songs. So that's who we're going into the studio with, that team, and they're booking us some really incredible gigs like Wonderfront, which was just canceled today.
Oh man!
But yeah, gigs like that are kind of on the horizon going forward. That we are confident that we're going to be able to take advantage of the moment. And Dale's just an incredible team member to be able to step back and let the boys run with this for a while. And he will always be, our secret weapon for when we get to open for Bon Jovi or something. We bring him up for a couple and he just wows the crowd with the lead and more family harmony. But for now, there's just we're kind of strategically going about things to give this band a real go at some global success. And part of that has to do with stopping playing all of our cover shows, which have been the reason that we've created this fan base and this family and this community
in the last 5 years, and it's been amazing that we even get to rent our house to ourselves and live in a house in this beautiful spot in Fallbrook and write our music here and stuff like that. So it's given us way, and it's given us confidence and given us the time to master our instruments a little more in the past 5 years. But the reason we got into it was to play original music and to share what we had to say, and that's part of making these changes with Dail and some other musicians, just to get back to the whole goal is to share our original music, and we don't want to be playing cover bar shows for the rest of our life. So the only way to do that, and really, like we've always said, we don't have a plan B, but our cover band has kind of been our plan B for the last little while. Like the plan A has always been to share original music and make that the number one thing. And I don't think we lost sight of it. It's just time to get back into it a little more.
Sure.
Make sure that we're pushing that more than anything.
And there's no question that playing the covers that you were doing really helped you grow as a band, really discover one another musically. And now to me, you're on that cusp where your originals absolutely stand on their own. Your songwriting is strong, your playing is strong, your vocals are just through the roof. I think you're ready to make that leap. And I'm going to say hats off to Dail for being so magnanimous about that. That's a tough decision to make, but sounds like
it's been kind of an emotional week for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, bless all of you for that, because that's not an easy crossroads to meet. You saying bringing out your secret weapon when you're opening for Bon Jovi reminds me of Van Halen bringing his pop out to play clarinet. Why not?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Wowing with something different like that. And we wish you nothing but the best. I know it's going to keep getting better for you. Your fans are so dedicated, and it's just going to bloom. As you get this powerhouse behind you, which it sounds like you have as far as marketing and promotion. So we are at the hour just about. So any parting thoughts before we go?
Bye so fast.
Yeah, it does.
Where can people find you guys online if they want to learn more about your music, what the upcoming shows, Patreon support? Go ahead and belt those out right now, man.
Handle.
This is our marketing guy.
Drummers are always marketing guys. I don't know how it works out. We're sound engineers apparently, so get ready for that too. That's going to happen. It's inevitable.
We're on everything like TikTok and Instagram, all that new stuff, and Patreon. But our website's daring-greatly.com or daringgreatlyband.com or daringgreatlymusic.com. We own those domains, so it'll take you all to the same spot. And we're pretty active on Instagram's probably our most active thing, and YouTube's great too. And we're trying to keep our content updated all the time, but there's just different obstacles we're working through right now, and obviously our biggest focus right now is to get some new originals recorded, and so we're focusing on the band right now. So we're kind of low key right now, but we've got so much video from the past that it'll take you days to get through. So, and if you're on Patreon, it'll take even longer because we have episodes from 2017 that like we had a professional videographer living with us, and we were doing these like weekly episodes called Living Greatly, and that's a Patreon only thing that you can watch. So if you want to get to know more about the band, Patreon's definitely the way to go.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Well, let me thank you all individually. Brayden, Patrick, Liam, thank you all so much for being here. This is great.
Appreciate you guys. It was great questions, great conversation. Thank you for doing the research.
And I'm embarrassed because I've heard about you guys forever, but I've never been to one of your shows. And I locally, like
I've been to several. Let me throw that out there.
I play my main gig that I've been doing is Clay Colton, and he's run sound for you guys. I've played with Jamie. I've had the opportunity to play with David too. It's like there's so many crossing paths. I'm like, I need to go see these guys because in the same breath, an acquaintance said, man, have you heard Venice? I'm like, yeah, they're wonderful. It's like, check out Daring Greatly. Like that type of association, just the talent alone, I'm like, man, why I don't get to get out much. So if I'm not playing myself, I'm at home helping my kids do homework and whatnot, or I've got my full-time job too, which I love. It's just you get to meet so many cool people, but it's like I don't make the time to actually go out and enjoy what's happening too. So I mean, I'm gonna catch up on you guys and come see a show eventually.
Yeah, we play in Temecula a decent amount, so
see, it's right down the road.
Right around the corner.
I'll bring my tambourine. Maybe you guys will let me sit in.
Let me throw one more thing out too. If you guys are down here in Carlsbad some afternoon, please come see us at the museum. We would be honored to show you through. We just renovated. I think BJ said that earlier, and I really think you'd enjoy the Museum of Making Music.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Throw that offer out.
We're playing in Carlsbad on September 24th at Gnarlywood. It's a new venue and it's outstanding.
Awesome.
I've heard of that place. Where is it?
It's across from is it Faraday?
I think it's on Faraday.
Faraday, and across from the old
Hacienda
Hacienda de Vega restaurant.
Oh yeah, okay, I know exactly what that's at.
Business and real place, but inside there's like 1,000-person capacity, unbelievably fun. Like production
Stage lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually a merch fulfillment company, and they work with Live Nation directly, and they have warehouses full of merchandise, and they do all the things for them.
Fantastic. That just so happens to be my wife's birthday, so I might have to do something special for her then.
Birthday dinner in Gnarly Woods.
Right.
That's a Friday, so I'm there at the museum on Fridays. Seriously, if you get down here early and you want to come take a look through, just shoot me an email.
Yeah, we haven't announced that show yet, so that'll be hopefully this coming week.
I think you did just announce it, actually.
Yeah, I guess we did.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to say my farewell. Thank you. And BJ, I'll let you take it from here.
All right, let's take a look at what's coming up. Again, thank you guys. Thanks, Darren, greatly. If you haven't, go check them out online. Go support their music and see if they're coming to a town near you. All right, what do we got on the horizon? Coming up Thursday, September 9th, 7 p.m., our very first in-person concert here at the Museum of Making Music this year. Super excited. Thank you, David Mills, for joining us and so many wonderful comments. I hope to jam with you again sometime soon. I'm reading his comments. He's got like a stream of consciousness going on here. I love it. Anyway, so we've got Jackie Benson. Wonderful, wonderful guitarist. She shreds on guitar. Producer, arranger, writes all of her own music, and is a one-person show, but she'll actually have a drummer with her for this event coming up Thursday, September 9th. She's actually featured as part of our new renovation here at the Museum of Making Music. We explore different themes of how and why instruments change and why the way they are when we're exploring the making of instruments. And she's actually featured in the area of the Museum of Making Music where we talk about the electrification of guitars and making those instruments louder. And one of her musical examples just blows me away every time I see it, and I hope that she'll be performing it here at the Museum of Making Music when we invite her here on September 9th. We had premium seating tickets available, but those have all sold out. We still have general seating tickets, and we are offering a streaming online-only version where we've got this whole room hooked up for some really wonderful quality streaming experience. So if you're not in the area or can't make it out, you can get access to that via the streaming ticket. Next time on MoMM at Home, next month, which is September, we have Jakob Trasek, whom Mr. Bill, was on holiday on a cruise ship, and he happened to meet this amazing violinist, Jakob, and just got the conversation going, and we are so lucky to have him here joining us for our episode of MoMM at Home on Tuesday. It's a Tuesday episode, September 21st, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're able to catch us on a Tuesday and hear the story about this wonderful gentleman and his music and his playing and his connection to his instrument, we'll be catching up with him and learning all about his career on Tuesday, September 21st. Check out our website for even more information about what's coming up on the horizon for MoMM Home, as well as our upcoming in-person concert series. We do have several events that we're going to be promoting in the near future that you can come and check out at the museum. Other than that, thank you for joining us again on MoMM Home. Thank you for, our guest today, Darren Greatly, and Mr. Bill for guiding us through such a wonderful exploration of music and what it's like as a band coming down from Canada to Southern California. It was an amazing story. And until then, everyone, have a wonderful day. Be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.